Welcome to the Make the World a Better Place podcast. I'm your host, Shanice Harris, and this season we'll meet leaders with connections to Girl Scouts serving in our community and beyond. Together, we'll hear stories from Girl Scout alum and their adult supporters who are making the world a better place using their courage, confidence, and character. This is the Make the World a Better Place podcast. Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Make the World a Better Place podcast. I'm your host, Shanice Harris, and I'm here with Girl Scout alum Maureen Keller, a rising sophomore at the University of Alabama. From a daisy earning her very first petals to a National Gold Award Scholarship recipient, she rose all the way through the Girl Scout ranks here in the Colonial Coast. Maureen is back to visit for summer break, and I've invited her on the show to catch up and share a bit more about her journey with us. Welcome, Maureen. Thanks for joining us.
Hi.
So I'm curious if we can just go ahead and dive on in. What were those early years like for you as a daisy? What did you like about Girl Scouts starting out?
So, honestly, when I was a daisy, I was really shy. I've always loved selling cookies, but I remember when I was a daisy, I used to walk around with a sandwich board made out of cardboard, and I would write my goal on it, and I would write, "Would you like to buy Girl Scout cookies?" And I would just walk over to my neighbors' houses, and I would ring the doorbell, and I would just stand there. And I would make puppy dog eyes, and I would just stand there. And I would wait, and they would read the sign, and and then they would just like laugh, and they would be like, "Are you gonna say anything?" And I would just shake my head no, and that normally worked, but I was super shy. And now, I mean, as you can probably tell, I'm not very shy anymore. I've become very outgoing, very involved in everything. But also, I mean, I went to camp as a daisy. I did everything. I wanted to be as involved as I possibly could. And I'm really glad I did because, like you asked about how it helped me grow, I do think it helped me grow. And I think it helped me to become less shy and venture out.
I love how you dove right in, and even though you weren't so sure, you said, I'll do this in a way I can, even if it's with a sandwich board, walking door to door, we'll make it happen. And then throughout your Girl Scout career, as your confidence grew and you took on more challenges and experience, what were some of the most valuable memories you made or lessons you learned in the program?
So I was in a big troop for a long time, and I honestly loved that experience. We went to Savannah, Georgia together. We went to Florida together. I'm pretty sure we went to Disney and Universal. We did a bunch of fun stuff, and I love those memories. I love doing booths with my troop, the girls that were in my troop. But I then, when I was about a junior or a cadet, I went and I decided I was more focused on selling cookies. I've always been huge into selling cookies. Anyone that knows me knows that I was always big into selling cookies. And because of that, I decided to branch off and become an independent girl, a Juliet. They used to call them Juliets when I was in Girl Scouts. And that's because I wanted to be able to do booths on my own and not have to worry about my troop leaders or the girls in my troop feeling like I didn't want to do stuff with them. And I feel like being on my own really taught me how to become independent. It gave me confidence. I've just done so many events. I went to so many Girl Scout events. One of my favorites that they do every year is at the Adventure Park. I highly recommend anyone listening that if you've never gone to that event, it is super fun. You should go. And they used to do like an etiquette event, and I did that, and I learned how to have proper etiquette. They would do stuff with public speaking, and overall, I just think it gave me confidence, and it forced me to be on my own and realize, oh, I can't be this shy little girl anymore. Like, I have to grow up and start gaining that confidence. And I'm really glad I did because it's made me the person I am today.
And sharing a little bit about cookies and confidence and that independence, can you talk a little bit about your experiences traveling? And do you think that's part of what encouraged you to stay involved in the program?
Yeah, so when I was starting out to be a cadet, which is around when you can start traveling, I think now you might be able to do it a little bit earlier, but when I was at that age, I think the earliest you could was when you were a cadet. I learned about the Girls GSUSA Destinations program, where you can travel overseas. Now, I noticed that the trips had some hefty prices and that I was young, I didn't work, and I needed to find a way to pay for them. So I used my love of selling cookies to help me do something new and travel. I believe the first trip I signed up to go on was to Iceland, and it ended up getting canceled. Unfortunately, we didn't have enough people sign up. And then I used the voucher that I got back to travel to London. I went to London 2 summers ago, and it was super fun. I was a senior by the time I went. So, because of all the delayed years and COVID happened, all sorts of things. But after London, the next summer, last summer, the summer before my senior year of high school, I went to Italy, and it was one of my favorite trips. I love the Girl Scout Destinations program. I think it's an amazing way to travel without it really costing a lot of money because you can use your cookie money to do it. And I think just overall, it was such an amazing opportunity, and I would do it again in a heartbeat.
The cookies, the outdoors experiences, travel. You've done so much in Girl Scouts. And I know a big part of being a Girl Scout is also giving back. So, how have you found time to make our community better?
So I one of the things I did every year was I did the Christmas stockings for the Salvation Army every Christmas or around Christmas time. And I would do about 60 of them, and I would set aside cookie money every year to go towards that. I did a bunch of other volunteer activities like helping with gardens in the area. I used to help with a woman's homeless shelter for a while. And then obviously, I earned my bronze, silver, and gold award, which goes into community involvement. For my bronze award, I worked with the Crayon Initiative, which is a organization that collects new or used crayons from restaurants, organizations, places that hand out crayons and they don't always get used. And they collect them, they melt them down, and they make them into new ones, and they give them to organizations who might need them, such as hospitals, homeless shelters, group homes, all sorts of things like that. And then for my silver award, I wrote a book about plastic in the ocean, and that was during COVID, so I didn't get to do a huge event, but I did do a virtual event, and I actually had girls from all over different states and countries join the Zoom meeting, and I read my book. We did a craft. It was super fun, and I used my book to give me ideas of my gold award. And for my gold award, I focused on recycling and educating the community. And I also did a citywide Earth Day event here in Chesapeake. I also made all sorts of like curriculums. I made a brochure that are featured on Chesapeake Recycle's website now. So if you ever want to go check that out, feel free to go on their website. There's lots of great educational materials on there. But I mean, I did so many other things. I was a national delegate. I went to legislative day. Um, I sat on the advocacy committee for a while and the board. I really wanted to use my Girl Scout experience to the fullest and be involved as much as possible. And I would highly recommend to any girl to do the same because I think I've noticed that the reason why girls don't stay from Daisy all the way until they graduate high school is because they aren't involved. They don't find their niche, what they enjoy in Girl Scouts. And it took me a while. I mean, like I said, I was super shy as a Daisy, but once I really found what I enjoyed, I was able to really dig in and enjoy it and stay for the whole time. And I think there will come days where I miss it.
I, Once a Girl Scout, always a Girl Scout. Will always be here for you. I just love how you flipped your passion and took your interests and used them to have fun and also make the world a better place. So, as the new generation of Girl Scouts are earning their bronze, silver, and gold awards, what advice do you have as they want to make a meaningful impact? How do they get started? What would you say?
So honestly, I won't lie. I struggled for a little bit to really figure out what I wanted to do for each of my projects. And I would just say find something that you are passionate about. Find something in the community that's struggling or someone, a group of people, and just a topic that you notice in your community has a need, and really dive into it. I would say to find something unique. Like, you will enjoy your project so much more if you know that no one else is doing it. I know for my bronze award, I was in a troupe at that time, and I did it in a group. So that one was a little bit, but it's so unique. I've never heard anyone else do the project that I did for my bronze award. But I see a lot of like the free little libraries and like gardens and stuff like that. And while those are great, like honestly, I'm so glad there's people out there using those things to make a difference and make the world a better place. But I think that I found a lot of enjoyment in my project because I knew it was unique. I knew that when I got to tell people about it, they were going to be like, wow, I've never heard of that. So my biggest piece of advice would be, one, find something you're passionate about. And if you are passionate about reading or books, like, yes, do a free little library. And honestly, I wouldn't consider myself hugely passionate about the environment. Like, I'm studying to go into the medical field. But when it came to Girl Scouts in my community, I noticed there was a need in relation to recycling. And I was able to find a passion that went with it. And I really enjoy doing my projects. And I think that that's the number one thing. You should enjoy what you're doing, because if you're not enjoying it and you're not having fun, what's the point?
I couldn't have said it better. I really challenge all of our listeners to find your niche, find what you enjoy, and you'll really grow your passion for making a difference when you do that. Maureen's a fabulous testament to what's possible when you put your noodle on a challenge that you see in your community. It's been fabulous to watch her grow these last few years. And I can't wait to see what's next for you. Thanks so much for joining us on the
Thank you. Thank you for
podcast.
having me.
For more episodes like these, visit our website at www.gsccc.org